Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Got a new Yu-Gi-Oh video for you guys today, a new Cyberdragon video. And today we are talking about the archetype that I think gels the absolute best with Cyberdragon out of every archetype we've tried. I don't necessarily know if it's the best or the most competitively viable though, but it flows together so smooth you would think it was Cyberdragon support. It is that smooth. It combos really well with Cyberdragons. It plays really smoothly. The biggest downside of the engine is that the engine can't like combo itself into Cyberdragon, which would be crazy if it could, but it does everything else to support it. And I'll show you guys some examples of that as well as some gameplay. But we're going to talk about the TCG exclusive archetype RB. RB is a machine archetype of various levels and a couple different elements: earth, fire, wind. But the way they work is interesting. They are kind of a self-contained engine, which I think is cool because it reminds me a little bit of Fiendsmith, but is specifically a machine archetype. So we're gonna go through the cards real quick. I'm gonna be really fast with it because I want to get you guys into the combos. And I want to talk to you guys about this first initial build that we put together. That is definitely subject to change. So real quick, the RB monsters. We have a first up, RB Falcon Rocket. All of the RB main deck monsters have the same first effect, so I'm going to read it here and then skip it for the rest. If you control no face-up monsters, or the only face-up monster you control are RB, you can special summon this card from your hand. You can only special summon RB Falcon Rocket once per turn this way. Cutter and Driller have the same effect. Right away, bells and whistles should be going off for Falcon. It is a level 5 machine monster that can special summon itself. That is a huge deal in Cyberdragons. It always has been, but they also have their own additional effects. In the case of Falcon Rocket, if this card is linked to an RB link monster, you can pay 1,000 light points, then target up to 2 cards your opponent controls, destroy them, also this card. And if you do, inflict 500 damage to your opponent for each card destroyed. You can only use this effect over Falcon Rocket once per turn. Cutter has the same special summon effect. When your opponent's spell, trap, or effect is activated and this card is linked to an RB link monster quick effect, you can pay 700 light points, destroy this card, and if you do, negate that effect. And if you do destroy that card, you can only use that effect once per turn. And then Driller says, during the main phase, if this card is linked to an RB link monster quick effect, you can pay 500 light points, then target one monster your opponent controls, destroy both that monster and this card, and you can only use the effect of Driller once per turn. Makes sense, right? All right, we're gonna skip the link monsters. I'll do those after, but we're gonna talk about the spell cards. First off, we have RB Stage Landing. Special summon one RB monster from your deck or extra deck with a different name than the card you control. If an RB monster you control would be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard instead. You cannot special summon from the extra deck the turn you activate this card except machine monster with 1500 or less original attack. And then we have RB Funk Dock. RB Funk Dock is a field spell. When this card is activated, add one RB card from your deck to your hand except RB Funk Dock. Each time a monster your opponent controls is destroyed by battle or card effect, you gain 500 life points. If a face-up RB monster you control leaves the field by card effect, except during the damage step, you can special summon one RB monster from your deck. You can only use the effect of RB Funk Dock once per turn, and you can only activate one RB Funk Dock once per turn. And then last, we have the Link monsters. We have Brute Blues, which I think is technically the worst one. It's kind of an OTK maker, so it takes 2+ machine monsters as a link 3, gains the following effects while it is pointed to an RB monster. It gains the attack total of every RB monster that it's pointing to, original attack. It can make a second attack during each battle phase, and it cannot be destroyed by battle or card effect as long as it's linked to an RB link monster. And then during your main phase, you can add one RB card from your deck to your hand. You can only use its effect of RB the Brute Blues once per turn. And then lastly, we have RB Falcon Booster. This is a link 2. This takes 2 machine monsters. Right there, you should already tell how easy that is to make in Cyberdragon. If this card is linked to someone, you can add one RB spell from your deck to your hand. If this card is in the extra monster zone, you can special summon one RB monster from your hand or graveyard in defense position. Then you can move this card you control to another of your main monster zones. Also, you cannot special summon from the extra deck for the rest of turn, except machine monsters with 1500 or less attack. You can only use the effect of RB Falcon Booster once per turn. All right, so here's how we feel about this. So some of these cards are really good. Some of these cards are kind of mid. If you actually look at the deck build we have, we're actually only playing 4 RB cards in the main deck and 1 RB card in the extra deck. ridiculously small package, which means we can play the full Cyber Dragon package as well as plenty of non-engine. Like we're playing exactly 40 cards here. The cards that really stand out, RB Vulcan Rocket, like I said, level 5, summon, able to summon, special summon itself. It's also a board breaker. Paying 1,000 life points to pop 2 of your opponent's cards along with itself is awesome. It's basically costless, just pop 2. We're playing a copy of Cutter. We'll talk about why, but mostly it's because of the fact that you can only special summon one of the RBs. Each RB can only be special summoned from hand with its effect once per turn. So you don't want to play too many copies of one of them, and then you'll end up with the one you can't special summon. That actually happened to us because originally we were just playing 3 Vulcan Rockets, and then we ended up grabbing, special summoning a Vulcan Rocket, searching another one, then couldn't summon it. So Cutter is another option to summon when we use up Vulcan Rocket. But because it's the spell and trap negate, while it's linked to an RB link monster, so I figured that situation could come up, as opposed to just popping one during our opponent's turn. And then we're playing Vulcan Booster and Funk Dock. So we're not playing Brute Blues because Brute Blues, while it's easy to make Link 3, doesn't really do anything. I tried to mess with looking around for other Link monsters because these guys can Link climb really easily, giving us access to Link 2s, Link 3s, and Link 4s, but there aren't any good generic Link 2s, 3s, and 4s that benefited Cyber Dragon. That's why we skipped it. The only good generic one we're able to get to now is IP Masquerena, and I'll show you guys the combo for that. It actually just adds IP Masquerena to our already existing end board, which is really nice. Vulcan Booster, super easy to summon any 2 machines. Our normal combo already does a Link 2 into this. We just throw this instead of SP Little Knight. When it's Link summoned, we grab an RB spell. So this card does lock us into summoning machine monsters with 1500 or less attack if we use the second effect. If we just do the search, we're fine. But if we use the special summon effect to summon an RB monster from our hand or graveyard, then we're locked into just 1500 or less machine monsters. So we don't use that effect. Instead, we're gonna grab RB Funk Dock. So RB Funk Dock adds us an RB card. In most cases, we're gonna add Vulcan Rocket, unless we get like a better card. And then if we destroy any of our opponent's monsters, we get to gain life points back, which means we have an option when the deck goes into time. Because I got fucked by time, so knowing I can gain life points just for battling my opponent's monsters is fire. If a face-up RB monster you control leaves the field by card effect, except during the damage step, you can special summon an RB from the deck. That is huge in this deck. And when we talk about the combo, you'll understand why this is huge. I didn't even realize how important that effect is. I thought that was like a know-nothing effect. I literally thought, okay, my opponent might trigger this, cool. It's also because all the RB monsters destroy themselves. Like Vulcan Rocket destroys 2 of your opponent's cards and itself. Cutter negates a spell and trap card, destroys itself, and then destroys the card it negated. Driller destroys a monster and itself. When you use any of their effects, Funk Dock would trigger, summoning another one from the deck, even during your opponent's turn. But the way we're going to use it is even better. We're not using Stage Landing because Stage Landing says you cannot special summon from the extra deck the turn you activate this card except for monsters with 1500 or less original attack. So that means before and after you use this card, you just can't do it. So we're just gonna skip that card altogether. We're gonna go with the 4 cards that are important, and because of the fact that we're able to Link climb, we're able to go into cards like Access Code Talker for more OTK potential, more board destruction, IP Masquerena for our going first board, and if you see over here, we can actually go into Paradise Smasher with 3 materials really easy in this version of the deck. So let me show you guys the basic combo and talk about the branches from there. Alright, so the combo doesn't deviate too much from Cyber Dragon. It just adds another layer, and it gives us a little bit more spice. So we're gonna grab Realm just as we normally do, and unfortunately, early hand traps can still fuck us. Though I will say that the RB engine, once you get to it, like you could open it, none of them are bricks because they can all special summon themselves. Not a single one of them is a 100% dead card, and they can play under Droll. But this is the combo. So core, grab Realm, grab Chimera, you know, the standard stuff. Now, big thing. Again, we took inspiration from our Orcus combo. If you guys saw my Orcus combo video on the perfected Orcus combo, we do not want to use Clockwork Knight's second effect yet. We want to save that. So we're going to link with core, not chimera. Even for the chain blocker, we're not doing it. We're going to send Clockwork Knight, grab Power Bond, you know, the usual stuff. Now we're going to link into RB Vulcan Booster, not SP Little Knight. And here we're going to trigger 2 effects. This time we can chain block. Vulcan's going to grab us an RB card, and Chimera is going to dump Worm. Now we are not going to summon Worm, not for a little bit, because remember, the RBs can only summon themselves if you have no monsters on board or just RBs. So now we're going to go RB Funk Dock, we're going to grab Vulcan Rocket, and then we're going to special summon it from hand with its own effect. Now here's where the things get spicy. This I came up with in playtesting. All of the RBs, every single one, are all machine monsters with 1,000 or less attack. So guess what? Now we have a second copy of Clockwork Knight. And now we can use Clockwork Knight's effect. We're going to special summon Vulcan Rocket back out by sending Vulcan Booster. And guess what? We now use a card effect to send an RB monster to the grave. Because we did that, we can now special summon an RB monster from the deck. So if for whatever reason we don't want Rocket, we could get Cutter, but in this case, we're getting Rocket. Now, when I was talking about link climbing, at that point, we had special summoned Rocket. We could have easily linked into a link 3 to go into Brute, and then Brute searches another RB card, so we could have grabbed another RB monster and went all the way up into a link 4. Really, again, really easy without ever touching our Cyber Dragon engine. We still haven't touched our Cyber Dragon engine. We're already set up with our Cyber Dragon engine. We just haven't used it yet. Now, you could go into Infinity here, but it kind of messes up your own combo. You could go into a link 3. Like, there's multiple options that you can do right here. But what we're actually going to do, just to keep it simple, is we're going to go into IP Masquerena, because now we have 2 monsters on the board that are not link monsters, so we can go into IP Masquerena. Another option we have here is we could use Worm, dump Hertz, do all that shenanigans, and then summon out Worm and go into Paradise. Or we can grab Therion King first and then go into Paradise. Like, yeah, we can do things like that. But here we're going to go into IP Masquerena, and then we're going to activate Worm. We're activating Worm here mostly just to get us discard fodder for Clockwork Knight, because we still don't want to see Worm get like nibbed. But at this point, our combo goes back to being just what it used to be. Clockwork Knight, dump Cyber Dragon, grab Therion King effect, attach OG Cyber Dragon, and now we're gonna go Power Bond, Rampage, and like all of the Cyber Dragon extenders just help even more now than they used to, because like we could have made Paradise. There was a game where I opened up Core and Realm, so I was able to search into Cyberload Fusion, so I was able to make Paradise in Cyber Dragon Infinity and Therion King Regulus, and it just, we were able to, obviously once you have 3 materials on Paradise, it's actually a threat because you can manipulate some of the dice rolls, or one of the dice rolls, and yeah, with 2 Omni Negates on top of that, your opponent just can't play the game. Special summon Cyber Dragon. So now we just do the same old combo that we used to do. Naxter grabs Jormungandr. Overlay into Infinity. Jormungandr effect, bounce back Sidra. Of course, grab Fusion Substitute or Polymerization if you want. Fusion Substitute. Heals for Rog. Now, while Heals for Rog feels like a win more card, I like it for a couple reasons. One, it gets us back Power Bond at the end of turn, so we're guaranteed to have follow-up for next turn. And also, it gives us a reason to play Fusion Substitute, which Fusion Substitute lets us get our Fusion back, which it doesn't matter so much in this combo, but it matters more in the Cyberdark line. But here's our new end board. So we have 3 cards in here. Remember, we started this off with 1, which means we would have had 4 cards not playing, so we would end with 7 cards in hand. We have 3 interruptions on the board. We have Infinity for an Omni Negate, Heals for Rock for Spell and Trap, Therion King for another Omni Negate. But now Additionally, we have IP Masquerena with material already on the board to go into SP Little Knight on our opponent's turn. This allows us to banish with SP Little Knight's on place effect, which we weren't using before, on top of also having SP Little Knight's other banish. So now that gives us an additional interruption without interrupting our combo at all, and we have a way to gain life points, which matters in time. Of course, we have follow-up, we can play other non-engine, and it's just super, it slots in super well. Now this is the Cyberdark line. Again, this could start with Claw or Realm. This changes a lot less because of how the combo works out, but it actually gives us more protection against cards like Nibiru. So we're gonna count the summons here. We got Cyberdark, Claw, Chimera. Chimera's effect, we're gonna link for Clockwork Knight. We're gonna Clockwork Knight to get Clockwork Knight. And then of course we're gonna use Chimera to send Worm. And again, this could all be changed up based on what you have in your hand, especially with the RB cards, because they can special summon themselves, so the order you do things can change. But now we're gonna Worm, dump a core, summon Worm. This is summon number 3. Add a Cyber Spell or Trap. We're gonna Clockwork Knight, summoning Chimera. Bang. That's summon number 4. Now we're gonna go Chimera, dump Clockwork Knight, grab Power Bond. And then Clockwork Knight, dump Realm, grab Therion King. Oh yeah, also some 2 of the RBs are Earth Machines, so you can also search them with Clockwork Knight. So yeah. Now, we've done 4 summons. Now in the original Cyberdark line of the combo, you could not go into SP Little Knight until you dumped Hertz, because Hertz was such an important card. You had to banish the Hertz to be able to Cyberload Fusion one of the rampages and still have Cyber Dragon on board, Cyber Dragon Core on board to bounce back to hand for Jormungandr. Now we have another reason to put Chimera into the grave for Therion King without actually interrupting that part of our combo. So here's why. So now, as our 5th summon, we go into Vulcan Booster. Now we already have a target for Regulus without having to worry about the rest of our combo. Okay. We're gonna activate Funk Dock, and we're gonna grab Vulcan. We don't care if our opponent nibs us right now, but instead we're going to special summon Rocket, since Rocket can only be special summoned while we have RBs. If we summon Therion King, we can't do anything else. But now we can summon Therion King. If these 2 get nibbed, we're fine. And if not, now we're protected from nib. Now we can play our Power Bond. Boop. Getting rid of these 2. Now we're gonna dump Hertz and Core. The only thing that really happens if this gets nibbed is that we lose out on SP Little Knight. We're gonna add Core back from the grave. We're gonna go into SP Little Knight. Now we want to banish the Hertz. If you guys remember, the reason we have to banish the Hertz is because we're going for the Heals for Og play. So this gets us into Cyberload Fusion. If we have another monster in hand, then the only thing we lose is SP Little Knight. If we don't have another monster, then we also lose Heals for Og, which does suck. But here's why. So we go into Rampage, we got double Rampage, we don't want to pop with this. Now with the second Rampage, because it's not once per turn, we're going to send Jormungandr and Naxter. Then we overlay into Nova. As a matter of fact, now that I'm looking at it again, we could have actually ended on Paradise again. When we had the 2 RB monsters, we could have just left them. We could have power bonded into the first one, got the core, got the Cyberload Fusion. Cyberload Fusion, the core that was banished plus the core on the board to get another Rampage, and then Rocket and the 2 Chimeras could have made Paradise. That's funny. Alright, so we're going to special summon from Grave. Naxter. And of course, we're going to grab Jormungandr. Infinity. Yomigander effects, bounce core, grab fusion sub. Now, fusion sub infinitely has more value in the Cyberdark combo because we have to use both of our chimeras. By using both of our chimeras, we don't have a chimera in the extra deck, so like it's nice that we can get power bond back, but what are we gonna fusion to? But now if fusion substitute, we get to send chimera back to the deck and draw a card. We have one less card than with the Cyber Dragon combo, but we actually have follow-up, more stable follow-up. Like it's a more important follow-up, I should say. So as you see, we end up on the same end board minus the IP Masquerena. If you're starting off with the Cyber Dragon engine, emergency or core, you get to get the IP Masquerena. If you're starting off with the Cyber Dark engine, you actually get a safer combo with being able to Therion King much earlier. And those are the two main combos. We're gonna go jump into a game real fast about the build that we're playing right now. We played a lot of one-of hand traps, mostly as crossout targets, but they are also hand traps that help the deck. You can obviously play different ratios altogether. We are playing two Bestials, Druid's Worm, because it's a really, really powerful form of removal. Magnuma, because Magnuma can get us into Claw, and Claw can get us into full combo. Only playing two Rockets because 3 was a little clunky. And then, of course, one cutter for an alternate target. It's also an alternate Earth Machine search target. If we have Therion King and for whatever reason still have to discard Clockwork Knight, we could still search it. And then, of course, one Funk Dock because it's searchable by booster. Extra deck is free real estate, whatever the fuck you want to play. We only need the one booster, but I really like IP Masquerena as another option when going first, and Access Code Talker as another option when going second to help clear the opponent's board. And these, especially Access Code Talker, your opponent can't respond to it with monster effects. And then Paradise is just dirty. So let's go jump into a game. All right, we got a game and we're going first. And see, we have Vulcan Rocket in hand, but like I said, they are not bricks because you can special summon them straight from hand. So we're gonna start off by special summoning Vulcan Rocket in defense mode. Now normal summon gets us into our RB cards. I don't like that. What do I do here now? Well, it's only when I special summon from extra deck, right? So let me see what I can do here. Normal summon. Let's grab Cyberload Fusion. You know what? You know what? We're gonna play into the Fua. We're playing into the Fua. Watch this. Watch this. He pissed me off. Chimera. Especially now that we just ripped Cyberload Fusion, yeah, we're playing into the Fua. Alright, let's go special summon Clockwork Knight. Clockwork Knight effect. Send. Give me Power Bomb. Clockwork Knight. Whoops. Activate. Send. Grab Power Bond. Love to see it. Now we're gonna go. Do I want to go Vulcan Booster? Do I even need to go Vulcan Booster because we already have Rocket? Sorry, I just want to make sure I do this right because we're gonna Power Bond into Rampage. I guess we do want to get the Worm engraved. So do we go SP Little Knight? So we're gonna go Worm. Worm's gonna go. Oh yeah, we could do that. Since we already have Cyber Dragon in hand. I'm gonna ditch that just to get some protection. Watch what we're gonna do. Watch what we're gonna do. It's gonna be fun. Fun E. Alright, so we're gonna activate this. Are we gonna activate this? Yeah, we're gonna activate this. I wanna make sure I do this right. So let me think. Let me think. So Worm is gonna dump one. Worm is 2. We want to get 3 level 5s out, and if we can, try and get Infinity. We can Power Bond and Cyberload for Infinity. So how can we get 2 more out? We would have to go into thing. All right, so let's do this. RB. Go ahead and draw, bud. That activate and activate. Hopefully I didn't do it too late and I'm about to get ashed. Nope, we're good. Dump worm. Grab funk dock. Beautiful. That hurts. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. We're good. He got the drill too late. We're absolutely fine because this doesn't add special summons. Wow. Oh, because it adds on activation. That's crazy. That's annoying. Annoying, but it is what it is. I should have played the Therion King earlier. It's fine because we still have plenty of plays. Okay, that doesn't stop me from summoning Therion King. Cool. Now we're gonna go Worm. Worm's gonna dump. It don't really matter because we're gonna send it back to deck anyway, so I guess we'll just dump Hurts. Summon back Worm. Add a Cyber Spell and Trap from the grave, yes. Let's go with no. I'm trying to think, can I do this right? Because now we're gonna go Power Bond. We're gonna banish, we're gonna summon by banishing these two. We're gonna, if I overlay into Nova, I can detach special summon, but I'll only get one. Wait, what am I saying? Activate. We're just gonna Therion King here. One, two. Now we're going to overlay into Nova. Oh, he drolled himself. I forgot. I forgot he drolled himself. That's awesome. We're still not done. We're still playing cards, chat. Sorry, comment section. Oh, that sucks. Now we're going to Rampage for these two. You love to see it. Now, I could have went to another Nova and I could have ended on Heals for Rog, but we're not doing that. We're going to go Paradise because we're assholes. And he wanted to Fua. He wanted to Fua. We played through 4 hand traps, y'all. 4 hand traps. Let's get rid of these two. 5-2, 3-5. Yes. So the reason you want to do that with 3 materials is that guarantees that you can get, you can alter. If you have 3 materials, you can alter one of the dice rolls to make it a 7. So basically, we guarantee that our opponent wins the dice roll. So that way, they can't play any monster effects till the end of their next turn. And I think that's it. We can go into SP Little next. We don't need this anymore. And then we can banish from their graveyard. Do they have anything we even want to banish? I guess the Fua. See, I wasn't originally going to go with that play to go into Paradise. I was going to do my normal end board, but because he dropped the Fua, I'm like, the Fua doesn't matter if he draws a million cards if he can't activate any monster effects. Which I don't think he realized that he can't do yet. We've effectively ended his turn. And yeah, he surrendered. Paradise is dirty. Dirty. But yeah, back to what I was saying. We played through 4 hand traps. We played through Fua, Droll, Nib, and DD Crow, though he did do a really bad DD Crow. It probably depends on the order he drew them in. But you get what I'm saying. We had the protection from everything. And even after he hit us with all that, we were still able to end on an infinity with a Paradise to shut our opponent's turn down, then turning it into SP Little Knight. It might have gone differently if he had nibbed us or drolled us instead of Fuad, but I'm guessing he wanted to get a few draws off of the Fuad, or he drew into the droll late. By the time we had Power Bond, that was it. The rest of our hand didn't matter. It did suck that we couldn't play the Funk Doc because of the fact that Funk Doc draws on activation, which I think I get why it doesn't work, because you can't activate something that doesn't resolve. But if we had been able to play the Funk Doc, we could have turned the Vulcan Rocket into Clockwork Knight and done the whole play where we tributed the Link Monster for the Vulcan Rocket back from the grave, which then would have special summoned one from the deck as well, so we would have had an extra level 5 monster as well. Alright guys, here's one more look at the deck. You got to see a little bit of the flexibility of what it could do, and like I said, none of these cards are bricks if you open up in them, which is really nice. And they seem so low powered, but because they're so easy to use and so smooth with the rest of the Cyber Dragon engine, it literally just feels like an extra Cyber Dragon card. It's an easier to use level 5 monster that can special summon itself than I personally think than Dia Blaster, because you can summon this wherever you want, and all you need is to either have nothing or an RB monster, which we can turn any 2 monsters into an RB monster. You gotta try it yourself. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know how you guys feel about the TCG archetype, and let me know if you guys have experimented with it yet and what you guys have tried differently. Like I said, this is the first time I'm messing with it, and I can already see the flexibility, whether it be link climbing or building crazy ass boards or dropping Paradise like we just did. So much fun. But if you guys want to play some Yu-Gi-Oh live, keep an eye on the Twitch or the YouTube. I will post whenever my next YouTube stream is. Guys, thank you for all your support on all these videos, and don't worry, we will still be finding more stuff to experiment with. That's going to be it from me. Check me on social media, links down below. I'll catch you guys on the next video. Later.
See it in my eyes, I was born for this. I got demons on my side, you ain't right like this. I got reason to believe, I don't need it from my gifts. Only I can change the world and it go like this.